always use your head.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Kurt's Angle Podcast. It's Kurt Johansson, and today bringing in another series of me delving into the Southeast Asia professional wrestling scene, and what better way than having the Statement Andruew Tang from Singapore Pro Wrestling with me. Andrew, thank you for joining.
Thank you, Kurt. Thank you for having me. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce myself. I'm the first ever pro wrestler of Singapore, the co-founder of Singapore Pro Wrestling, the dasher of dreams, the destroyer of destinies, the embodiment of Singapore wrestling, the four-time SPW Southeast Asia champion, the Statement Andruew Tang. Yeah! What's up, everyone?
Brilliant. I love that. So from the back, like, you can see you've got the charisma there, you've got the look, you've got the in-ring ability. But what made you want to be a professional wrestler?
Well, it's a dream ever since I was young. I told myself, like, at the point of time and growing up, in Singapore, there wasn't a pro wrestling scene at all.
Yeah.
Of course, Singaporeans are very conservative. Parents, Asian parents, they just want their kids to have like a full-time job, become a lawyer, a doctor, a dentist. It's kind of white-collar jobs. Yeah, but for me, I always want to be something different. When I first started watching pro wrestling, I told myself this is something that I want to do, and I have to do it. So I'm someone who actually, when I set goals for myself, I'll make sure I'll do whatever it takes to reach that goal and try to achieve my dreams. So I was always trying to find ways of how to get inside the pro wrestling business. So when I was like during my poly days, there wasn't any pro wrestling, so I just tried to do like some physical sports, did a little bit of Muay Thai, then try to build up my body. So I did like dragon boating. In Singapore, it's quite popular. It's a quite popular sport. So it's trying to help to build up my physique. And then after when I came out from the army, ORD from the army, and then I met my business partner. At that point of time, he wanted to expand his business in Singapore, and then that's how we started Singapore Pro Wrestling. Yep.
Wow. So when I was speaking to like Shaukat, he was saying he looks at you guys as inspiration for a lot of his younger talent. To be like, look, you need to make sure you look in the part, and that's something at Singapore Pro Wrestling like you've embodied. Who was it when you was growing up that you looked at and you was like, that's who I want to be like?
Right. When I first started watching pro wrestling, I started watching pro wrestling year 2000. So of course, my inspiration would definitely be The Rock. When I saw him walking down the ramp, the way he moves inside the ring, the way he cuts his promo, I'm like, hey man, that's the guy I want to be when I grow up. Because he's such a huge inspiration. He's so charismatic. Even though like at that point of time, we were just like, at that point of time, I was just like a simple wrestling fan. I didn't really like watch too much wrestling. Didn't really understand a lot of the indie wrestling. Because I think at that point of time, there wasn't a lot of like wrestling was not very. It was not very accessible over through the internet. You have to watch through TV and everything. So at that point of time, we're just exposed to WWE, and of course in WWE, the wrestling is very simple, but The Rock makes it so amazing. It just captivates me with his charisma and the way he moves. Growing up definitely would be The Rock, and then my other idols would be like Chris Jericho and Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio because obviously me and Rey Mysterio we are pretty similar because we're not so tall, but Rey Mysterio has a lot of heart, and the way he moves inside the ring. At that point of time, nobody moves like him. At that point of time, nobody moves like him. So, definitely huge inspiration as well, Rey Mysterio.
So what was the feeling from your family where they wanted you to be doctor, lawyer? Like, the reason I was laughing is I interviewed Ho Ho Lun yesterday, and he gave me the exact same answer where it was like, my parents, they didn't want me to do wrestling. They wanted me to make money. And so what are the what's their feeling about it at the moment?
Hey everybody, apologies for the interruption, just some technical difficulties, and here we are back with Andruew Tang.
Well, initially, when I first told them that I wanted to do pro wrestling, they were very skeptical because they were saying like they don't want me to get hurt, and of course, as Asian parents, they're always thinking like, will you be able to make a living out of pro wrestling? Yeah, but I prove to them, I show them, when they come to my shows, they could see like, how much dedication I put inside my craft, how passionate I was to put in my craft, and my shows are very successful. Initially when we first started, we only had about like 60 people in attendance or so, but right now, we always get sold out shows like 400, 500 people, and of course like production value is good, and of course we bring in like big names from around the world. So yeah, I mean, pro wrestling is doing pretty well in Singapore, and of course you can see like that it's my sheer joy and happiness. Whenever I step foot inside the ring, or whenever I perform and organize an event, and yeah, I mean, of course I'm not say like I'm making like big bucks from pro wrestling, but I mean, the money is enough for me to sustain my expenses, my lifestyle, and of course, as long as I'm paying for my bills and putting food on the table, I think they're pretty happy with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, good. So you mentioned you met your business partner and you started Singapore Pro Wrestling. Is that Vadim, is it?
Yeah, Vadim Kharajin, yeah. So he's the founder and the promoter of IWF Russia.
Yeah. So how did you meet him, and how did that discussion of you two getting into business together to create Singapore Pro Wrestling?
Right. So it was really funny. I told a lot of people about this story. Like, after I ORD'd, I wanted to, either I sign on, extend my contract in the army, get more savings before I, try to get over to Japan or Canada or US to try and just pursue my dreams and have a taste of pro wrestling. Yeah. But so I went online, I went to Google pro wrestling schools in Singapore, even though I know, at the point of time, there's no pro wrestling school in Singapore, but who knows? Cross my fingers, suddenly something might appear, and boom, suddenly I saw this like a very shady YouTube video of pro wrestling in Singapore. I'm like, what? And this narrator and commentator with this very strong Russian accent. So yeah, I went to the YouTube channel, and then basically like it shows like the past videos of IWF Russia and about him wanting to come to Singapore. So apparently at the end of the video there was like a sign up link or whatsoever. So yeah, and there was like a meeting place. So we went to like this meeting place. So quite a number of people. So I think like 20 people attended the meeting place. The most distinguishable thing that I remember is like this kid got his whole family down, and then like Vadim was actually like explaining about pro wrestling and stuff like this, and then I think the kid with his parents and stuff, started talking about him, like thinking like it was like some full-time WWE contract kind of stuff. So it's like, okay, that's okay, pretty interesting. Yeah, so eventually at the point of time, Vadim wanted to see like the response from the Singaporean fans, whether that it's feasible to start out a pro wrestling promotion. Yeah. Apparently, yeah, there is a very huge response. So after eventually, I talked to him. He wanted to expedite the process, so I helped him and stuff. He asked me and whether I'll be involved in the company, whether I want to be a part of the business with him. And of course, I said yes, because that's something I want to do. So yeah, that's how we first started.
That's interesting, because as I was trying to do some of my research, I was trying to wonder, I was like, how does he partner with a Russian to create a company in Singapore? So I was like trying to work out how that had come to be. And since then, like you've gone strength to strength, you've been getting a lot more people coming through training with yourselves. What's it been like essentially? I said it to Shaukat as the Malaysian godfather, but essentially you're the godfather of the Singapore wrestling scene. You've created that and you've been building it up to where you've been getting from 40 to 50 people to, like you said, 400, 500 people, some big international talent. So what's it been like seeing other Singaporeans coming through, wanting to train and then making it onto shows and making it an established wrestling scene?
I mean, of course, this is it's a dream come true for me. Like obviously, like my main dream is to actually go in WWE. But of course, like before the first step, you actually want to be in the mainstream promotion. You first need to, know your roots. You need to establish your grounds. Obviously, the first thing for me to actually achieve my dreams is to actually, debut in a local show. And of course, it's like the same thing for the other wrestlers right now, the aspiring wrestlers in Singapore right now, because now there's a place for them to actually try to live their dreams. They don't have to risk it all, heading to overseas, work a lot, get a lot of savings to go to another country, because sometimes when you wanting to do something and actually doing it, it's very different. Because sometimes I've seen a lot of guys, they send me emails, they send me messages, and say, hey, I want to be the next Triple H, I want to be the next The Rock, I won't let you down, blah blah blah. And then when they step foot inside the promotion, they come for a free trial session, then it's just like maybe half an hour, and then they say like, Sorry. I don't think pro wrestling is something for me. I need to go to the toilet and then they don't come back. So yeah, it's just like that. So imagine if, let's say, you work really hard and then you save a lot and then you get like a student visa to another country, let's say in Japan or so, and then you just you experience like half an hour of pro wrestling training over there and then you quit. Yeah, it's not very good, right? At least in Singapore. Yeah, I mean, if you quit, okay, you can just head back to your family, head back home and still live your life. But I mean, of course, if you come to Singapore Pro Wrestling, you train hard, and of course, the next step is definitely to actually debut. I mean, it's just a wonderful feeling because I remember when my first experience stepping foot inside the ring, just going through the gorilla position, it's a dream come true for me. So that's something that I want to create for aspiring wrestlers in Singapore. For them to achieve their dreams, to have that feel good feeling, because everyone's goals is different. Like for me, my goal is to be an international star, to build my name around the world. But some guys just want to debut, just want to wrestle in Singapore, just build their name around Singapore. So of course we set goals accordingly to what they want.
Yeah. So who is it that stepped through the door that's impressed you in that? When you think of the people you've helped train and helped bring through in Singapore, who is it that you're proud of?
Of course, it's my two. Can I say two? Can I say two names? Can I give two names?
Yep, do
No
it.
problem. Yeah, definitely would be Trexus and Alexis Lee lah. So these two, to me, they are like my kids or my brothers and sisters. Because when I first started pro wrestling, both of them were really young. So I see them. I mean, FPW has been around for 8 years. So when they first started wrestling, they were like 15 or 16 years old. Yeah. So I really trained them hard from scratch. Like at the point of time, I was really really harsh. Like maybe the first 4 years in pro wrestling, 3-4 years of pro wrestling, I always believed in tough training, tough love. So, whenever they don't do something well, just go out and fuck them. But, at the end of the day, they are really doing very, very well. Like, I think Trexus and Alexis Lee, the three of us, we got the honor, the distinguished honor to actually, like, represent Singapore in the WWE tryouts. So it's something that we always remember, like, and of course, I think the WWE guys were really impressed with the two of them as well. Yeah. They were really impressed with Trexus because Trexus he's so much potential. He's only like 23, I think so, or 24 this year. Yeah, he's tall, he's huge, can move so fast. He's just like a sponge, and there's so much talent in him. So yeah, I'm really very proud of him. Alexis Lee is good. She has very good heart. She tries to put her name out there. She works hard every single time, to support a dream, to live a dream. So she doesn't give up. So yeah, I mean, like, she doesn't fit the mold of a typical female pro wrestler, because she's very skinny and all. Yeah, but she definitely has the heart. And sometimes, it questions me, because sometimes, when she trains with the guys, we tend to do a lot of like big moves on her. Man, she's like a rubber band. She doesn't get injured somehow or other. Like we throw her around, we give her like big huge moves and stuff. Yeah, but she doesn't really get injured. So that's really cool. So I'm really really proud of the both of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So as you're going through your career, you've been traveling around the place and you've worked a few different companies. You was doing the Hong Kong promotion under, I think, the 01 banner. What was it like once you've started wrestling in Singapore, but then you're starting to get these other opportunities to go to Japan? I know you worked Gato Move and K Dojo as well. And when New Japan came over to Singapore, you worked one of the dark matches on their event. Like, what's it been like when you first started getting contact from other companies that have noticed you and like, actually, we want to bring you to our country to wrestle?
Right. Yeah. Of course, it's a remarkable feeling. Like, I always remember my first international company that I worked with, and that would be Hong Kong Pro Wrestling, Hong Kong Wrestling Federation. Of course, I really have to thank Ho Ho Lun for that wonderful opportunity. Yeah. He believed in me. At that point of time, he was so green. I remember me, Afi, me, Kenneth, and Afi. Yeah, we were so green. We went over to Hong Kong. We don't know what to expect because in HKWF they have been around for like longer than us at the point of time. Maybe 4 years, and because this year's the 10th year, for 8 years. So of course they have much more experience, and of course their wrestling style is really different. Because in the wrestling style over there, it's more towards the Japanese style of wrestling. So of course Ho-Ho's a very tough trainer. So the way he plans matches and stuff like this is very different from how we do it in Singapore. Yeah, so we were very green. We went over there. Yeah, I wouldn't say like the match was very, very fantastic, but yeah, I mean, I will always remember my first line. He didn't give up on me. He believed in me, and then think the fans like me because, you know, I think I have a really unique look because, you know, I may not be as tall and big, but, you know, I'm short, but I'm jacked, and, you know, I
Yeah.
do a lot of like all moves and stuff. So it's really interesting. So yeah, he believed in me. I came down again in 2014, and then that was the year where I had the championship opportunity, and I won the title. So my first pro wrestling, a major pro wrestling title, and of course to be the face of the company, you know, for Hong Kong Wrestling Federation, it's a huge thing for me, lah. So of course I will always remember HKWF, and it will always have a special place in my heart. Yeah, because it's a good feeling, and so from then on, you know, doors opened for me. You know, I started wrestling in other countries like Thailand, Malaysia, China, Australia, and of course actually Japan as well. So yeah, it's a dream come true for me. Huge feeling.
Good. So how do you adapt to those styles? Because, like you said, Hong Kong, they're a lot more like the Japan style. If you go to Japan, that is purely the Japan style. But then if you go to Australia or Malaysia, it might be a different style of pro wrestling. So how do you adapt in terms of like your character and your work in the ring to suit that audience?
Of course, as a pro wrestler, you got to be versatile because a lot of pro wrestlers or a lot of my students, you know, they always just want to do one particular set of style. You know, they always think like, yes, I need to be this character. I always have to be this character, but they don't understand that when you actually wrestle in different countries, you need to adapt and be different. Like what you said, like, you know, in Hong Kong or in Japan, you know, the style is more towards the Japanese style of wrestling. There's a lot of striking involved, a lot of fighting spirit involved. Yeah, so you just basically have to do that style. What you have to do is, you know, just listen to the promoter, how the promoter booked you in the match, just have to do it. Because, you know, you got to make the cut. You got to make the cut unique. You got to make the cut special because at the end of the day, it's a business. And you have to listen to your boss. Technically, when you go over to another country, the promoter is your boss. So, of course, you got to make them happy. And, of course, the most important thing is it doesn't matter what kind of style you wrestle. The most important thing is to actually leave a statement on everyone's mind. Hence the name, the statement. Yeah. No, but yeah, I mean, like sometimes, you know, if let's say you think like, you know, if the promoter wants you to do a comedy match, just do a comedy match. You know, you just got to always adapt and be different. Yeah. And of course the character work as well. You know, like whenever I go to Thailand, I am always in heel. You know, because I'm rather, I don't know. I just you know, the fans know me as a heel, and of course they love my heel work. So yeah, when I go there, I'll just go all out as a heel, especially in Hong Kong as well. I remember when my first title win, I was such an asshole that when I won the title, 1, 2, 3, the fans just walk out the arena. Can you imagine that? It's crazy. Yeah, that is so crazy. Like even in Thailand as well, that time, this I think like for a couple of months in Singapore, I was like playing this babyface, anti-hero kind of stuff. Yeah, so when the promoter says like, hey, you're in Thailand, just go full out here. So it was a tag match between me and Trexus. I mean, Trexus and me were tag partners on the Onslaught. Yeah. So we went and had the match. We did the match. We did so much heelish antics. And then to make matters worse, at the end of the show, we were supposed to like, you know, I'm supposed to hit the champion with the belt shot. So somehow or rather, like, I think the belt was really heavy or they have sharp edges. So when I stopped the champion with the belt, yeah, he started bleeding. So it was really bad because it's supposed to be a family-friendly show. And like Amy Sakura, she was so angry. I'm like, oh shit, oh my god, I went all out.
Yeah, and Emi Sakura is not somebody you're wanting to disappoint.
Yes, of course.
What's your interactions with Sakura been like? Has she helped you with either your wrestling style or your promoting, or?
Yeah, of course, she's helped me. She's one of the figures that helped me in the wrestling business, and helped me in the wrestling industry. I mean, she helped me with a lot of bookings in Japan as well. You know, being able to work in Kantai Dojo. You know, I mean, she allowed me to train in Kantai Dojo and train in Gato Move pro wrestling as well. Yeah, and of course, like her trainings are really tough. Yeah, a lot of body balance and stuff. A lot of gymnastic work. A lot of good psychology, and yeah, I'm so impressed with the girls. You know, the girls from Gato Move, because I train them, and I'm like, wow, they're moving so fast. You know, the speed is amazing, and the technique is so good. And yeah, Sakura is really a good teacher. I mean, Sakura is a good teacher because she will really drill you. And if you are not doing well, she's very straightforward. She doesn't like you know, pander you and say, oh, you're doing quite well. She says, no, why are you not doing this? You know, she will make sure. But you know, she will go all out to make sure you do it well. She's a really amazing individual, amazing human being, and of course, I have so much respect for her, and I thank her for where I am right now as well. Yeah.
Oh no, that's great to hear. And one thing that I've noticed through your company is you what you do working relationships. You work with loads of different companies. For example, you recently worked Shaukat with NYPW, where you dropped the belt to Shaukat, and he's like double champion there. You've worked OWE. You've done some crossover stuff with IWF or Dragon Gate. Is it important for you to be working with all these different companies?
Of course, it's really important for me to work with all these companies because basically it's to actually put the name out there, to put SPW's name out there, to put my name out there, to put my boy's name out there, put Singapore on the flag as well. Like, I think like the biggest show to date that we ever worked with is the OWAEW show, where I managed to get Kenny Omega down.
Yep.
It's Kenny Omega, oh my God, Yeah. Of course, and obviously like, it's not the end, of course, like Kenny expressed interest, like he wants to come down and wrestle in Singapore because he knows that the Singapore fans are very passionate. It's amazing experience, when you wrestle in the SPW arena, whenever you wrestle in Singapore, because the fans, they just eat it up. They're so hungry for wrestling, they so want wrestling, and they're so passionate, and they just go crazy. So like a lot of wrestlers, even actually 95% or actually 100% of all the international wrestlers that come to Singapore, they say that it's such an amazing experience because the fans, it's a very easy crowd to work with. They just whatever you do, they just go crazy. So yeah, it's awesome, and of course that is something that I want to create for them as well, because I believe in movies of word of mouth. If I give them a good experience in Singapore, if I host them well, they're going to go back to the country, they're going to tell their friends, they're going to tell the other wrestlers around the world like how good SPW is, how good Singapore is. So yeah, my job is done, and that's why it's so important to get that kind of relations, because you never know at the end of the day. Sometimes you might need their help to get bookings overseas, and they might be your future colleagues. Like the funny story was I met Pete Dunne in Hong Kong. Yeah, before he was the bruiserweight. Yeah. So the point of time when I was wrestling in Hong Kong, I saw him. I said I got blown away by his Peter end, because his finisher was like, wow, man, this guy is really unique, and his finisher is really unique. So I really hope I can book him in Singapore. So maybe like after that, he went to WWE, became a very big star, and UK. And then one of the days, I remember like one of the events, I wanted to book Tajiri, but at the point of time, Tajiri was busy. So like, hey, let's see, how should I book? Who should I book now? Like, just drop a text to Pete Dunne and then, hey, he wanted to come down, and okay, great.
Because you actually faced Pete Dunne in that match. Like, what was that like? Stepping across the ring from Pete Dunne. Like, obviously, what you said when you met him, it was before the bruiserweight stuff, and it was his tour in Asia where he came back, and I think he'd been in China, and he came back with this bruiserweight gimmick, and started using it in Rev Pro, and then started using it in Progress, and then got picked up by WWE to the point the bruiserweight gimmick that was born in Asia is now copyrighted by WWE. And then he comes back to Asia, goes to Singapore Pro Wrestling, and you're stepping across the ring. What was that like?
It was an amazing experience, definitely. Like quite mind blown. Yeah, it's quite a mind blowing experience. And of course, that match I had with Pete Dunne is definitely one of the highlight matches of my career, because I'm actually facing a bona fide WWE star. And of course at the point of time he was the NXT UK, was the UK champion, and it's a different experience for me, is to actually see where I stand, against like a WWE star. And of course, I really hope I didn't disappoint, and I think I didn't disappoint. If you watch my match, I think I managed to I think I put on a good fight, a pretty good fight against him. That's definitely a big experience for me. I learned so much from working with him. Of course, certainly hope that I'll be able to have another match with him again. And of course, this time around I'll produce maybe a 7-star classic. I would say that my match with him was a 4-star classic, but we have more time to plan. And now, ever since I had the match with him already, understand his playbook and all. Yeah. I think that would be, if let's have another match with him, it would be my third match with him, because we had a second match as well, the 6-man tag match. And so obviously, I want to have another match with him, another good opportunity with him, and of course, I don't want to disappoint the fans.
Yeah. So, did he give you any advice after that? Like, what was his expressions of wrestling in Singapore?
Same thing. Like, he's really impressed with the Singapore crowd. He gave me good advice as well. He told me that I was a good worker. Keep it up. I think he told me and Trexus. I remember we were having we were at a water theme park, you know. Then he was telling me telling me and Trexus like we have a lot of potential, and you know, just go out there, build our name more, work more matches, work more different styles. Yeah, and then eventually, we are going on the right track lah. So. Of course, we listen to his advice and stuff because I think Pete Dunne had a training seminar with us, and the way he trains us is really different. The way his thinking is very different. The way he thinks of wrestling psychology is very, very different. Like I remember, like he told us, right? He told the trainees like why my match with him was good is because it was like a real fight. So actually, if you watch our match, right, like usually like most matches, you know, most wrestling matches, when you first start the match, you know, the face will go around walking from the ring, doing all this kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, a real fight. You watch UFC, you watch ONE FC, you don't see fighters doing that. Right? Yeah. So I mean, the way he thinks is really different. So yeah, that's why when me and him when we first step inside the ring, it's always just that intensity, you know, the emotions that you know that we just like the thing is like my face was trying to kill him. You know, it acts like, you know, it's like a real fight. So that's the take home point they told us.
Yeah.
And of course, like the way he thinks is very different. He doesn't really believe in face or heel. Like he says like you see like pop culture, you know, like no face or heel. You see like or comics, you know, like the Joker. You know, why is the Joker sometimes is a little bit face, a little bit heel. Or, you know, like even like if you can translate to like UFC, Conor McGregor, you know? Not really a face, not really a heel. So yeah, so that's why you see, I think that's how his character is being emulated. Yeah. Told us about that. Because right now, like I remember the other time when Coach Bloom came down to Singapore, he told us like right now WWE, it's the reality era.
Yeah.
So you know, reality, you know, sometimes no face, no heel, no right, no wrong. Yeah.
What was the best thing you learned from Coach Bloom then?
Well, the best thing I learned from Coach Bloom would definitely be the camera is always about you. It's about the face, it's about the emotions. It's just really got to be over the top. You're really got to be over the top because you know when we were in Shanghai, there's a lot of cameras on us. So yeah, he says like he just keep emphasizing that, you know, showing the facial expressions is really important because that's what Vince McMahon wants. Yeah. So and of course, like he says, like you know, selling is so important. Like even during training, because like in Japan, sometimes we do drills, we don't sell, you know, because it's like bam, 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 get up. But the WWE style is very different. Each time you take a bump, you need to sell, recover, sell, bump, sell, recover. You know, it's slightly different style.
Yeah, and it's just to try and get that repetition, so that selling will become second nature to you. To make sure once you're actually in front of the crowd, because you're so used to doing it in the training, you're going to be bringing that in front of the audience. So I want to kind of go back a little bit. You mentioned the OWE crossover show, and you was 6-man tag match. You had Shima, you had Shaolin Monk, and then you had arguably the best in the world in Kenny Omega. How did that happen? Like, how did Kenny Omega and OWE doing that show with yourselves, how did that come about?
Oh, right. So apparently like I was wrestling in Japan with Sima, you know, because Sima invited me for his OW Japan show. Yeah, so at the point of time, I think they wanted to do a tour. So Japan, Taiwan, and Singapore.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah. So that was after the WWE tryouts. I remember, we were in the airport waiting to board our plane. We transit, not really transit, we were just like having a lunch before we're gonna board the plane. And then I received a message from Sima, and then he says like, would you like to be interested to do a tour, OW tour, SPW, Japan, Taiwan, and Singapore, and then the big star might be Kenny Omega. So immediately I told Trexus and Alexis Lee, and my face was like, three of us were like, really? Oh my god, yeah. So apparently, like, I mean, the deal, managed to get through, managed to get the deal, everything got settled. Yeah. So it was a big feeling. So apparently, like Trexus and me, we were doing a tour. I think it was Thursday night or Friday night. I really can't remember. So we were in Japan. Yeah, we saw Kenny Omega. I think it was a week before. I really can't remember. I need to check the date. Yeah. So like, oh cool. We're gonna work with you. It's such an awesome feeling. Yeah. Then after that, I think we went to Taiwan, and then after that, like 2 days later, 1 day later, actually 1 day later, I had to pick him up to the airport. So yeah, it was definitely a great feeling to have Kenny Omega down in Singapore. Yeah, and obviously, like, I mean, like I always believe, as a host, it's very important to show my guests a good time, and of course, like, Kenny enjoy his time in Singapore, so obviously he'll be coming back for more.
Yeah. So it was yourself, Trexus, and Butcherman that was in the match, but how was it? Like, Shima's fantastic anyways. His talent in the ring's unquestionable, but to be in the ring with Omega, like, how did that match play out, and how was it like working with Omega?
Wow, it's definitely an experience as well. I mean, the way he plans the match, the way he thinks, is just so fast. Yeah, it's just so fast, and I think if you actually watch closely, why is Kenny Omega's match so different? Right? It's because of the pacing. You know, like he will go so fast, you hit the move so deliberate, then he'll stop for a while, and he'll go for his next move. It's really different because the usual indie wrestlers pacing is just like boom, 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 or like slow, fast, slow. But Kenny Omega is a different level. Yeah, so you can really learn so much from him. Like, especially if you watch near the end when we're doing all the waterfall finishes. So he hit the V trigger on Butcher before he goes for his finisher. Yeah, so he just hit the V trigger and he'll just stop. He'll just stop in the middle of the match. I'm like, wow, it's just like a moment in time, like you just press pause in the video game and you just like milk the reaction. So yeah, I mean, there's something that can learn from him, the way he sells and everything. Kenny Omega is so animated, when he sells. Selling is so important because that's one of the things that a lot of wrestlers they don't do. You don't sell so much.
Yeah.
To me, I feel like it's better to oversell than not to sell. To undersell. Like Kenny Omega selling is so good. Like he use every single thing. Like when he hit him in the face, he palm him in the face, he was just like the emotions. Clinching his face, clinching his jaw, hitting the turnbuckle with his head and stuff like this. Yeah, all these small things make it so special. That's something that I want to learn. And of course, after having the match with him, I took back the learning point, and of course I implemented that in my matches as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned Kenny said he'd love to come back. Obviously, since then, AEW has been skyrocketing. They've set the foundation and things like that. Is AEW something you'd be interested in? I know you mentioned WWE. That was your goal when you first got into wrestling, but AEW, they're like a new game in town at the moment, and they've been embracing all these different cultures, as we've seen with Emi Sakura, and we've seen with Rhea and Hikaru Shida, and even Shima and the OWE boys when they was using those. Is that something that you would look at?
I think right now, I think definitely AEW is something that I'll look up to, because I feel, as much as I love WWE and as much as it's my dream to wrestle in WWE, I feel that the wrestling style, the wrestling psychology is always fixed. As a small guy, they want you to be the small guy who gets thrown around. They don't want you to be the small guy who is able to lift a huge guy. But it's I don't know, because for me, I always want to stay true to myself. I feel that even though I'm small and short, but hey, I'm jacked, and I can do stuff inside the ring, and of course I'm going to showcase what I can do inside the ring. I believe that if, let's say, I wrestle in AEW, they will accept me for who I am, they will embrace me for who I am, they will embrace my wrestling style. Because for me, I believe that the most important thing is about staying true to yourself. Like I said, just go out there, show the fans how much heart you have, how much character you have, getting the fans to like you for who you are. That's the most important thing. And I believe, at this point of time, I believe AEW is the place where, that can embrace me for who I am. Yeah.
No, 100%. And so you mentioned the different things you learned from Omega inside the ring. Is there any advice that he gave you after the match, or whether it's in terms of promoting, in terms of being in the ring? Was there anything else that you've took away from that and that's improved your promoting or wrestling?
I think not much. Actually, he told us that we all can wrestle. We all can work well in the ring. He didn't really give us a lot of advice, but it's all pretty good. I think he just told me about the spine buster lah. Yeah, he just told me like, it's a little bit dangerous when I took the spine buster, but actually I think it was pretty safe. It's just that he told us if let's say if any of us had unsure of taking a move, just ask. That's all. That's the only advice he gave to us lah. But everything other than that, it's all okay. And of course, he told of course he commented about the Shaolin monk lah. It was crazy when he did the shooting star press and boom, and Kenny Omega was like, okay. Yeah, so like the following day we're talking about the Shaolin monk the whole entire day as well. yeah. But the guy is a good lad. He has a lot of potential. Yeah, Shaolin monk. It's just a shooting star press.
So what's your goal with Singapore Pro Wrestling, and do you think it's important for all these other companies, like smaller, whether it's Philippines, Malaysia, Vietnam, Thailand, to be working together?
Yeah, definitely. I believe, because Southeast Asia Pro Wrestling scene is so small. I believe like it's important to stay united. It's important to stay united because there's so many talented wrestlers in Southeast Asia, in the MWF, in PWR, in Setup Pro Wrestling, in Top Dojo, in Saigon Pro Wrestling as well. So I think it's very important for all of us to come together, to show the world what Southeast Asia Pro Wrestling can be. 10 years ago, there wasn't a Southeast Asia Pro Wrestling scene. Yeah, so we all just have to stay united. And of course, the main aim is to actually have a Southeast Asian wrestler to actually, perform the big leagues. Doesn't matter whether it's New Japan, WWE, or AEW. That's the main goal. Of course, that will set, that will create a lot of doors of opportunities for everyone in Southeast Asia, in Singapore as well. Yeah. My main aim for SPW is, of course, to make it like a very established promotion in Singapore and around the world as well. The main aim is to actually like have TV tapings. A man can dream, right? Of course, to make pro wrestling entertainment staple in Singapore. When you just turn on the TV and you are able to see like pro wrestling, and of course, like most of my pro wrestlers, when you become local celebrities, why not? Yeah.
No, that's great. So, with that being in mind, there was some rumors that was going around that NXT were in talk, well, WWE was in talks with a few different Japanese companies and few Japanese trainers to potentially set up an NXT Japan brand or NXT Asia, similar to what they've done here in the UK. What would your thoughts be on that? Do you think that'd be good for the Asian wrestling scene, or do you think it'd take away from some of the companies?
I think if they're able to recruit Southeast Asian wrestling and Southeast Asian wrestlers, that would be good for Southeast Asian wrestling. But I don't think it would be so good for Japanese wrestling. Yeah, because Japanese wrestling is pretty unique. There's a lot of talented wrestlers in Japan, and of course, how do I say this? WWE, they might get a lot of top talents from around Japan into their promotions, the NXT, and then that will, in a way, cause damage to their own promotions, and of course, it will definitely affect the Japanese pro wrestling scene lah. So that's all I can say. That's all I can say. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah.
So obviously, it must be encouraging for you. You briefly touched upon it with the WWE tryout when they came in. How does that feel? The fact that WWE are now doing more seminars and more tryouts in the Asian market.
I think it's good. I think it's good. I think that at least we have this opportunity to present ourselves. There's this. It was a goal that I worked hard for. Like when I first started pro wrestling 4 or 5 years. To actually get the eyeball of WWE. Yeah, of course. Managed to do that. And of course, SPW will definitely be under the WWE radar. So, they came to our shows, and of course, they're really impressed with our talent. So, hopefully, if let's say there's a next trial, I can send some of my guys over there. Yeah. So, it's good. It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
It's a very positive thing. Yeah.
So, what's the What's the immediate goal for you then? Do you want to keep growing in Singapore? Do you want to go wrestle more in like Australia, maybe the UK? Before you get to that journey in that end of WWE goal, what do you want to do in between that?
For me, is to get even more experience. More experience. Maybe my next goal will actually be I don't know, after a couple of months in Japan. My company is still running, after a couple of months in Japan, work a lot of matches, do a lot of training. Enjoy Japan. That's it. Maybe try to work as many promotions over there as possible. Just try to tour the world, of course. Maybe who knows, maybe in the UK, maybe in Mexico, and maybe eventually the USA. So because I'm not sure. I'm not sure of the results from the WWE yet. So but if let's say I'm not able to get into WWE. It's not WWE is not the be all and all because there are so many different promotions. As long as you put your name out there, you work hard. It's a matter of time. Because the most important thing for me is what I want to do is just to wrestle and entertain the fans. So it doesn't matter which promotion I am, which country I am. The most important thing to leave an impressionable statement on everyone's mind and make a statement and let everyone feel that.
No, good. So, obviously, we mentioned Omega. We've mentioned being in the ring with Pete Dunne. Mentioned winning titles in Hong Kong. What else is like when you look back at your career? What's some of your like top moments and where you look back and think, I'm proud of that?
I think definitely my match with Trexus as well. My match with Trexus, that was in Unchained in Changi. You can actually take a look at the match on the YouTube channel. It's actually one of the best matches that I ever had. Because it was a really special night for me and Trexus because we were in the main event, and that was the night where WWE came down from scouting. Scouting. Funny story is that I think on the second pay-per-view that we really had, Crew, Trexus and me, we had a fantastic match, but we weren't in the main event. So we told ourselves like, hey, I was telling him like next time, eventually a few years down the road, we'll definitely main event. We'll make sure we steal the show. And then it happened. It happened in Unchained and Changi, and there was so much emotions going through inside the match, and that we both gave our all. And of course, Kenyon Freeman, the head of the retail development, he was really impressed with the both of us. So it was a fantastic experience to actually get, scouted by WWE. It's a feel good moment. And this will one of the career highlights for me. My other matches, I think I quite like the intergender tag match, the six-man intergender tag match. So it's Onslaught and Rika Saiki versus the Horrors and Mizuki. It was really a fun match, and of course, I think the best fit for a female wrestler to join Team Onslaught would be Rika Saiki. Because she's pretty jacked, she's small and she's pretty jacked. And like the three of us, we have really good chemistry together, and I think that match was quite fantastic. I don't know. You can be the judge. You can watch the match and give me a review. But I think it was a fun and interesting match, and it showcased the female Joshi, the way they wrestle, and of course it showcased talent from the Horrors and Onslaught as well.
Oh, brilliant!
And I think the one other match that is really special would be my match with Fima. Because you definitely can learn a lot from Fima. Actually, I think it's the one in KL, Kuala Lumpur, against Fima and Masa Takanashi. It was really fantastic because I've learned so much from the both of them. Both of them are masters in their own different wrestling style. So to work with them and get the experience from them. Wow, amazing for me.
Is there anybody coming up that you want to face? Obviously, that may be available to come to Singapore, or if you go to Japan, is there anybody on that list where you're like, that's the person I want the match with?
Actually, I don't know, man. Like right now, let me see. maybe okay, maybe if one of the UK guys, I'm not sure. Maybe I don't know, again, Tyler Bate or something.
Yeah,
'Cause,
that'd
I
be
work
brilliant.
with, or maybe I can work with Trent Seven as well. Because the
Yeah.
initial plan I wanted to work with Trent Seven as well. Yeah, but somehow or other, because of scheduling, we can't do it. Yeah, actually, I'm also still in talks with Trent Seven. So maybe we might be doing like a special cross show or something. I'm not sure, but we actually have to see the situation and how the whole this pandemic,
Yeah.
how we get over this pandemic. Yeah, so we can start like doing all these cross international shows as well. Yeah, so maybe I definitely want to try myself against Trent Seven or Tyler Bate, one of the UK guys, one of the original British strong style guys. Yeah, it'll be pretty interesting to learn from
Yeah.
them. Yeah,
So bring some Singapore strong style to it.
in the first strong style. Yeah, we throw the durian, and we throw the rojak, we throw the laksa lah. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you were to so with this, it's kind of like trying to spotlight all the different wrestling scenes in Asia. Like I mentioned, done Malaysia so far. I've done Hong Kong, and now yourself with Singapore. If you was to have a message for any of the people listening that are from the UK, America, or Australia, what should they expect from watching Singapore pro wrestling, and why should they check that out?
Right. I believe why they should check out Singapore Pro Wrestling is because we have a very unique kind of wrestling flavor into it. We inject our own local flavor, local Southeast Asian flavor into pro wrestling. So it's in Singapore we have this term called rojak. So rojak, it means like it's a mix of different kind of food, different kind of food from different cultures. So the taste is very unique and different. So yeah, it's the same for Singapore Pro Wrestling because you always need to expect the unexpected because sometimes we have a very local flavored matches as well. I think I remember once we had like a ang pao on the pole match. So ang pao is these red packets that this, like the Asians give during our Chinese New Year.
Yeah.
And then we use like hardcore. Can you imagine a hardcore match using durian? Yeah, something unique and different, right? So
yeah,
I mean, just give us a watch. Support Singapore Pro Wrestling and support Southeast Asia Pro Wrestling because it's about the unpredictability. You watch pro wrestling, it's about the unpredictability, and of course, there's a lot of talented wrestlers in Southeast Asia and Singapore. So please give us a watch, and of course, we are always welcome for feedback so that we can improve better as wrestlers, and of course, to improve better as a promotion. Because at the end of the day, we are all one big wrestling family. Thank you so much, everyone.
No, 100%. So Andrew, thank you for coming on the show. It's been great talking to you. Your charisma is very infectious. When we get going, so it's been really enjoyable. Where can people find you on social media? Where can they find Singapore Pro Wrestling on social media, and where can they watch your work and the company's work?
All right. You can watch our stuff on YouTube. Just type Singapore Pro Wrestling. You'll be able to find. You'll be able to find our channel. Right. For Instagram, it's just at SG Pro Wrestling. Now, for my personal Instagram, it's at DN Statement. THEAND Statement. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not much of a Twitter guy, so sorry, Kurt. I didn't reply your message because I don't really use Twitter. Yeah, but in Singapore, it's always Facebook and Instagram. So yeah, so just give us a follow, watch our product, and certainly hope once this COVID-19 situation is over, we're able to perform. If let's say we can't work inside the ring, we'll try like the government style of wrestling. We'll do like empty arena matches, or we'll just definitely have more content on our YouTube channel. So please give us the support because we'll do our best to support the whole pro wrestling business as well.
Fantastic.
We're all one big family, all right? Yep.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Thank you for your time, man. Yep.
No, thank you for coming on. It's been great. And everyone, so make sure you follow Andrew Tang. You might not get much response on Twitter, like he just said, but make sure you follow him on Facebook and Instagram. And again, you can find me at Curtis Angle Pod. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you're listening and watching on YouTube. If you're listening via the audio on Chairshot Radio Network, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you check out the interviews with Shaukat for Malaysia Pro Wrestling, with Ho Ho Lun for Hong Kong Pro Wrestling Federation. And if you don't hit that subscribe, we've got some more fantastic interviews from wrestlers and promoters from the Southeast Asian wrestling scene. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.
Why should you visit thechairshot.com? Thechairshot.com is your home for hard-hitting reviews, news, opinion, and analysis with attitude. Why? Because you're smarter than the average fan. Thechairshot.com. Always use your head.